Hola amigos! How is everyone today? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. I'm going to give you all of the tips and hacks, if you want to call it that you need for your trip. Puerto Rico is very solo travel friendly. The majority of my audience is from the US. You don't even need a passport. Let's go ahead and get into it. Puerto Rico is an island located in the Northeast Caribbean. It is to the east of the Dominican Republic. If you are from the US, have US citizenship, you are not going to need a passport to visit. That means it is easy travel. Since it is a US territory, if you are a non-US citizen, you're going to have to contact the US Immigration and fill out those forms for a visa. Airport tips. In my Miami video, I was talking about getting the big seat when I flew Spirit, and I won a bid a second time for this trip to Puerto Rico. It was for my birthday. I was going directly to San Juan. I've never been to Puerto Rico before, you guys, so I was very excited to explore and see what the island has to offer. When you are flying to the Caribbean, it is best that you get a direct flight if you can. Me, I didn't. I split it up. I flew from Dallas to Miami and then Miami down to San Juan. As I mentioned before, Florida is going to have the cheapest flights. I've done it with Haiti, Jamaica, even further down Colombia. I know that's not the Caribbean, but I always like to fly from Florida and Puerto Rico in this case. I won the bid for the seat. I entered the lowest amount and I had seat 1A. Spirit, y'all just love putting me in 1A. I need to be flying you all. Anytime I go to the Caribbean, you guys are the best. Being able to exit the plane first while you are entering a new destination is top tier. You want to try to get a direct flight if you can. If not, you can fly down from Florida. Because it's a US territory, your phone is going to be fine as far as service and towers. My T-Mobile plan worked great there. With the US number, I was able to talk, make calls with no problem. A lot of people use WhatsApp for these international destinations. Puerto Rico is US territory. I'm going to keep saying this, but if you want to just use WhatsApp and you're comfortable with that, that's fine too. But your US number is going to work here. One of the reasons why these flights are so cheap could be because of the times of the day that you were flying. I landed to San Juan early Sunday morning, maybe 1 or 2 a.m. At this time, I usually don't like venturing out into the city because it's my first time. The airport for me is the safest place to be until daybreak, and then hopefully I can sleep well at the airport. At San Juan, that airport is freezing cold. I actually went outside so I could get a bit of a warmer breeze. Later in the morning, I made a reservation at a Hostel 1802. We'll get to that review later. And I was trying to figure out how to get there. I guess the tip here is if you're catching a red-eye flight and you do not want to sleep at the airport, what you need to do is make a reservation for your accommodation that night before. So if you're flying out very late Saturday evening, and you're landing actually Sunday morning, you want to have it reserved even though you aren't getting there until the next day. That way, you can get there 2, 3 a.m. and just have a bed. For me, I'm like, I'm gonna just wait it out. And that's what I did. The next tip, be open to meeting fellow travelers because you never know what can happen from it. That morning, I was kind of out of it. I didn't sleep well. I was trying to figure out where this hostel was. I went to the airport bus stop and I met someone, I think he was a college student from New York, and he was asking me, of all people, what I was studying in university. And I was like, bro, I am not in college. I haven't been in college in 20 years. I have my 20-year reunion this year. Like, dude, are you serious? But thank you for the compliment. He was asking me, where I was going, what my plan was. I was like, I'm here for my birthday. It's my first time and I'm staying in the city. He was like, I've been waiting on this bus for a long time. Do you want to just split an Uber and go to the station? Because San Juan has a metro. Come to find out, he had slept at the airport too, but he was on the inside. You're always going to see a lot of people who are sleeping in airports. I've talked about this before. You have to kind of size up the traveler, the individual quickly. I'd say 3 to 5 seconds. I asked where he was from. I think he was Canadian, but he had also lived in New York. So that already told me, oh, he knows how to navigate transportation because New Yorkers, they be on it. I was like, okay, let me just wait a few more minutes. Of course, the bus did not show up. More on that later. And we decided to just split the Uber. You can catch Ubers from San Juan Airport, and you can get the Ubers or the taxis. Taxis are going to be more expensive. So we got in the Uber. You need to have a working knowledge of Spanish. Buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos noches, right? The guy is trying to explain to him how the metro works. And he's like, I'm from New York. I know where the metro is. Like, dude, chill out. Just let the Uber guy help us out, right? As we get to the train, and I just asked him what his itinerary was because he was not there for that long. I think he was there a couple days. So he was going to go to another island, take the ferry. He was doing a lot. That's one plus of meeting fellow travelers. You can exchange itineraries, see what they're doing. We went to the closest train stop. I needed to get to Sagrado Corazon. I've taken metros around the world before. You kind of just see travelers doing the same thing. We're taking photos, we're getting our content in for the train, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is good content, because y'all know I talk about transportation in my videos. Size up the traveler, size up that person, and just see how the vibes are, the energy between y'all. And you just have to be open to this. Sometimes solo travelers, you can get kind of introverted, you're just in your own zone, and you have that resting RBF, and you don't really want to be conversing with others. I think you have to change that, because when you are in a new destination, you don't want to block any opportunity. And just even for that moment, just giving you tips and guides of someone who knows what to do, because I could have been sitting on that bench waiting for that airport bus forever. So I'm actually glad he was there. I was able to walk a few minutes from the station to get to my hostel, and it all worked out. Have a direct flight. Make sure that you book your accommodations a night before, and then be open to meeting fellow travelers. Where to stay? I stayed in the city center with Booking.com. I mention them all the time, you guys. They just keep giving me discounts. It was around $20, $25 a night. I found the hostel 1802. It had recently been remodeled. It was a very modern looking hostel. Some of the people that I talked there, they were like, oh, we came from Nomad Beach Urbana Hostel, or we came from such and such. And they were like, oh, this is an upgrade. For me, I was like, I give it 7 out of 10, because the mosquitoes were awful, you guys. That is neither here nor there. Actually, it's here. Let me show you a picture, because they ate my arms up. And it was my error of not having the repellent. Sure, I could have gone to the grocery store. They're all around. I recommend going to Pueblo Market because they're open 24 hours. I got ate up really, really bad. And it was for sure because of this hostel, because I didn't see a lot of mosquitoes anywhere else. So 1802, y'all need to work on that, okay? I was in a room of 4. This was mixed gender. People in hostels, you just don't know what you're gonna get, okay? That's another reason why I like to arrive there in the daytime, because I need to survey the scene, survey the bed, survey who's cleaning, how often it's being cleaned, and you can kind of get a sense of that really quickly. I arrived there early in the morning. Also, they had very good reviews on Google and hostelworld.com. When I got there, I couldn't check in until the afternoon. I was kind of tired, out of it, hungry, and I just needed to put my stuff down. They said I could take a shower. They have like not outdoor showers, but it's like showers that are in the front area, not upstairs where the dorm rooms are, right? So I was like, okay, I'll just take my shower, freshen up, and just go out somewhere and eat. These hostels always, well, not always, but most of the time they're going to hold your luggage. If there's a gap where you're coming in early, you can't check in until later, just talk to them. You can send them messages through the booking app and just see if it's allowed. Usually they're going to be lenient and say, yeah, sure, you can leave your bags. And with them, I like them so much, I kept extending nights because I really didn't feel like moving around. I wanted to review a women's hostel where it was only women staying there. But again, I was comfortable there. Like, I really wasn't going to be going island hopping on this trip. So that's where I stayed. San Juan is the capital. Again, when you are in the city center, you're going to be close to everything. I was close to a bus station. I was close to restaurants. I was close to cute cafes. I was close to the mall and close to the beaches. You want to stay in the city center. Questions asked about Puerto Rico, San Juan, is it safe? For me, I was fine. Again, if you live in the US and you have lived in a major city, I would say Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, you are going to be fine. Just keep your wits about you as if you were in a major city in the US, and you should be fine. If you wouldn't do it at home, don't do it there. Other options with great reviews are Mango Mansion. There's Fortaleza Guest House. The one that I was talking about that's women only is the Juliet Hostel. When you're going to a hostel, if you're going for the first time, you want to always have shower shoes when you pack. I do not know if they are scrubbing the floor, and you are going to be seeing some things. Just wear shower shoes. I'm not gonna try to badmouth them. The showers are cleaned daily. Another tip, I've noticed that they usually start cleaning, doing their sanitation after guests check out. So if you want to wait to shower, I know some people shower at night, you have your preferred times, whatever. If you want to wait until noon, like around checkout time, then you're going to get to that clean shower first. It's a much better experience, trust me. If you're enjoying the information in this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Did you do it? Okay, while you're there, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any more guides that I'm gonna be giving y'all. The year just started, we gotta get through, okay? Things to do. Puerto Rico has so much to do, you guys. You have Old San Juan, El Yunque National Forest, the beaches, and there is nightlife, there's a mall. So I'm gonna just talk about Old San Juan first. Old San Juan is a UNESCO Heritage Site. You're starting to see every trip, I search out the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Old San Juan, you're gonna have the cobblestone streets. You can see El Morro, Castillo San Cristobal. They have beautiful, colorful buildings, historic forts. You definitely want to go here. There's so much history and culture to discover. You can even visit La Perla. People are saying that you shouldn't visit this neighborhood. They do offer tours. I was already there walking around. I wasn't there at night. Again, I would not advise you to do it at night or daytime if you do not feel comfortable. My entire time, I felt like they were welcoming to me. I guess they didn't know if I was a tourist or not, and that's a good thing. But the art in San Juan is so spectacular and beautiful. I really could not stop myself from going, because even down in La Perla, there was so much street art. There's bars, there's activities. You just need to be careful. They are saying not to take photos in La Perla, and that if you do, the people will stop you. They might even have you deleted in front of them. That's kind of an altercation I want to avoid. So I kind of kept my phone down a little bit, but then there's others who are just like smiling at you because you're a woman. So I don't know, you just have to have your wits about you and just kind of survey the scene. I do have some pictures. If they are specifically saying no photos, then you don't take them. If you know enough Spanish to ask them, hey, can I take a photo of the street art and, highlight this artist? They are living there, but you don't know if they're the artist or not. So I don't know if you have to get the locals' permission to take photos of street art. And when I did it, it was in the daytime. They do offer Old San Juan tours, and you do want to be wearing comfortable walking shoes. They have the Paseo de la Princesa, where you're going to see it's a very nice promenade. It is hilly. You can walk around and see all the sites. They have a map. If you go to Discover Puerto Rico, they will give you sites, even shorter routes if you don't have that much time, because Old San Juan, you can get lost in it. It's a beautiful historic site that I think anybody should visit. Now let's talk about El Yunque. This is the only tropical forest in the United States. By hiking the trails, immersing yourself in nature, you can jump off the cliffs, jump off the ropes. The tour that I signed up with was Airbnb. I knew that the hike was probably going to be difficult. The tour guide kept saying that it was moderate, just the excursion in general, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's difficult. I'm not gonna recommend this. One, if you don't like to get muddy. I mean, people were sliding, falling. It's been the slipperiest excursion that I've been on. We had to walk through the water to cross. It's not like you can just meet them on the other side. I had to slide down the rock. And when you're walking through this water, it's very slippery. And we are waist deep in it. A lot of people wore water shoes. It's good for when you're in the water, but then it's a 3-mile hike and you don't have traction on the water shoes. So people were sliding and falling hard. It was a group of 10 and you have to stay with the group. But then if somebody's falling with you in front of you because they lost their footing, you're trying to step back because you don't want to fall. Me, I wore my New Balances and I was fine. Like, I didn't fall once, you guys. I was so proud of myself. When I got to the slippery rock hill, I was the last one to go. I was holding my glasses because I didn't have contacts in. I did not want to do it. The tour guide was like, you have a life jacket. Just cross your arms, put your chin down, and then go. So here you see me finally mustering the courage to go down, came back up, and then I panicked. I was like, and everybody's like, you're fine, you're fine. And I just don't like having a sea of eyes just staring at me because I was the last one. So after that, I kind of was over the hike. The hike, it was very muddy. We did have to climb up the mountain and then go back down. So do keep that in mind. I'm not gonna say that you need to train for it like it's Tough Mudder. It's only 3 miles. You do need to be able to keep up with the pace of the group. Hopping into that water off that rock, it took the wind out of me. So the rest of the excursion, I was like, I'm ready to get back to San Juan. It was an hour drive. They do recommend that you eat breakfast because we do the hike. Those who want to jump into the water, jump off the cliffs, they do that. My only time was going down that rock hill. After that, I kindly went to the side and I was waiting for everybody else to finish their water activities because I was finished. You hear me? All in all, I guess it was a good excursion. Would I do it again? Absolutely not. I was hoping it to be more land. It was land and water, but I mean, it's a good experience, like YOLO, right? Puerto Rico, and I mean, this is a lot of places. Mexico has it too, where you can go to the grocery store and they offer a really good breakfast. There, I got the verbena, which is, it's like cream of wheat. I asked for a portion of cream of wheat, and then I had already bought some snacks because I went to Pueblo the night before because I knew that, you're going to need water. I was already full from the verbena. I wasn't that hungry. I had like some light snacks, water, just enough for you to hold until lunch because lunch wouldn't be until a few hours later. El Yunque has over 20 waterfalls. There's 240 trees. Connecting with that nature, there's just something about it. You're always going to see me at a UNESCO World Heritage Site if there is one, and you're always going to see me in nature. It is calming, soothing. I have to do it every single trip, you guys. And there's not only hiking and swimming, there is a zip line there. You don't have to do it with a group. I like to do it with a group just for the safety part of it. I don't want to get lost and see. I'm exaggerating. I don't want to get lost in the forest. The earlier you go, it's going to be better. One time I missed the step and I kind of slammed into a rock because my footing was wrong. Like, you just have to kind of pay attention, listen to what the guide says. Me, I'm left-handed, so I typically want to do things on that dominant side. If she says, put your left foot here, reach for the rope and step up, you do that. Otherwise, my hip was hurting for a while after smacking into that rock. El Yunque is a definite must-see. 10 out of 10. Lastly are the beaches. Puerto Rico's beaches are amazing. Every beach that I went to just down the coastline, it was stunning. Some people are not into the activities. You see all those reels and TikToks where it's like, don't activity me to death. I don't want to do all these activities. Well, if you just want to sit in the sun and lounge, you can do it here. And it's year-round sunshine. I was just like amazed with the 80-degree weather. It was perfect. The best beaches, I asked the Uber driver, he was like, the locals love El Escambron. I went there, absolutely gorgeous beach. The waves are calm. Ocean Park Beach, it's still beautiful, but the waves are not calm. So if you're getting in that water, I would just say be careful. Sometimes they will have the lifeguard even tell you to get out because the waves, it's too chaotic over there. Condado Beach, that one is nice too. If you have a rental car, want to go further out, Loquillo Beach is beautiful. And there's nothing better than just going to relax and sitting on the beach. I could do it for all day. They do have beach clubs too. Remember I was talking about Resort Pass? The public art in San Juan, it's everywhere. Really, if you are visiting the entire island, they have a lovely collection of art. And it's going to be in a variety of museums, galleries, there's murals. Just looking at the buildings, if you go on Google, it says largest art mural in San Juan. Here's a picture of it here. It was delightful. I tried to go to the Museum of Art 3 times, y'all. Every single time something else was going on. I didn't think it was advertised well on their IG or their website, so they need to do better with that. They do have a sculpture garden around. Also, try not to get into it with the locals. I was like, I need to review this for YouTube, for my followers. She's like, ma'am, we're closed. Just being out in the street, that Santurce neighborhood, it's like the Wynwood Walls of Miami. There's art everywhere. It's beautiful. You see people on the street. Puerto Rico is so lively and upbeat. If you are an art lover, this is definitely where you want to go. There's wall-sized murals. People were watching me snap all the shots and they were like, oh, you like that? You need to go around the corner, go over here. Yes, I was in and out of the streets and alleys because that's where the art was, you guys. Was I being vigilant and trying to be as safe as possible? Yes, but I am gonna follow the art and just see where it takes me. This was in the daytime. Now you can go back in the night because Puerto Rico is so lively. You have La Placita, places in Old San Juan too, where the nightlife is gonna be happening. If you're gonna be doing the nightlife, you want to be careful. Do not take a drink from anyone that is not the bartender. I'm just gonna say that because you don't know what is gonna be slipped in. I'm not saying that you're going to be poisoned. I'm just saying you need to be aware of yourself, especially if you're traveling solo, okay? You meet a guy, watch where the drink is coming from. Speaking of drinks, the birthplace of the pina colada is San Juan, okay? So you have to try it, you have to get it. If you went to Puerto Rico and didn't get a pina colada, it's like, did you even go to Puerto Rico? That's what I'm trying to say. We went to a local eatery, a local restaurant where they, offered you food. I'm vegetarian, y'all know that, so I did not eat there. And a lot of these tourist places are going to be overpriced. They were trying to charge me $20 for some rice and beans. There was no vegetables, there was no tostones, there was no... So I was like, absolutely not. I'm gonna get this little smoothie and I will hold my hunger until I get to those vegetarian, even vegan restaurants when I get into town. We were able to get some entertainment. I did something like this in Kenya where you're at the restaurant and then a group of musicians, they come, a band, and they're playing for you. They weren't asking for tips, but it is customary if you want to give them, some money, you can. They accept US dollars. It was live, right? I sat myself right in the front. If somebody asked me what was Puerto Rico like, I'm like, it's lively. I don't know if you've seen The Heights, but it's just like that. It's just so much music and action and dancing in the streets. Speaking of which, La Placita, if you go there for the nightlife, Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, over the weekend, it's a street party. They're doing salsa in the restaurants, in the streets. It's everywhere. It's all around you. You definitely want to visit Old San Juan, Yunque National Forest, and of course, take some time lounging at the beautiful beaches. Getting around the city is going to be easy for you. If you're staying in the city center and you're close to the beaches, close to the coastline, you can walk around. There are Ubers readily available. You can even get a bike. I've seen some people on scooters. That's a good way to get around. They do have a metro, an urban train, urbano train, where you can get a day pass for $5, or you could just get the single tickets, which is $1.50. At that time, they were not accepting cards at the Sagrada Corazon station. They just have a lot of change and you can just put, the coins in. They do have a bus system. Sorry, San Juan, it's not reliable. Some people have waited there for hours, definitely at the airport. On the weekends, it's not reliable at all. If you're trying to get to the airport from the bus, you could potentially miss your flight. So I'm not gonna recommend that. The bus is 75 cents each way, and they do have the seaports. A lot of people might be coming from a cruise boat, so you'll see all the ships there. You also can take the ferry if you want to go to some of the other islands. Modes of transportation are going to be the bus, the city bus. You could take the urban train, of course, Uber, taxi. Typical Puerto Rican food, you're gonna get mofongo. Yes, you can get vegetarian mofongo. Of course, if you're talking about drink, pina colada, it originated in San Juan. You can also ask for tostones. These are a few of the restaurants that I tried and would recommend for you. Number one is going to be 100% HP. This is a vegetarian restaurant where you can get traditional Puerto Rican dishes. It's also known as Maui's Great Burger, goes by different names. I was able to eat the famous bistec encebollado dish, which is Puerto Rican steak and onions. And yes, it is veganized. You see it here. It's served with a side of rice. You can get ensalada. It comes with tostones, and it's a really, really great dish. I highly recommend it. The second one is going to be Govinda's Veggie Garden. Here you're going to get the daily specials with a touch of India. You know, I love Indian food, so I had to try out Govinda's. This is what I ate here. They also offer vegan pasta and pizza on Fridays. Fela's Vegetarian is a salad bar. It's completely veg and it's buffet style. They do offer specific plates that you can order too. Here I just had the basic salad. It was okay. I'm gonna just give it to you because it's healthy and fresh, but my top two are gonna be 100% HP and then Govinda's. Abracadabra is not fully vegan or veg, but they do offer options. Here is a good place for brunch. It was one of the first places I ate when I touched down in San Juan, and I just had the pancakes. It's a lively environment, especially on the weekend. No matter if you're going early in the day or later on, you want to go here. It's a good vibe. If you're going to the Mall of America, it's the largest mall in the Caribbean. They're going to have your typical American restaurants. There I was able to eat at Cheesecake Factory. They have P.F. Chang's, all of the typical ones that you would see back home on the mainland. I also went to Burger King. The Burger King there is good, you guys. I had the vegetarian chicken nuggets. They have a vegetarian chicken sandwich. I had their burger. I know some people are like, how are you gonna go travel and not eat Puerto Rican food? Well, I did, but I wanted to try their Burger King. You guys have to leave the US. Some of these fast food joints, food is better than back home on the mainland. Good job, Puerto Rico. I love y'all's Burger King. Those are the top restaurants that I would recommend. Of course, you can go to your local grocery. I mentioned Pueblo earlier. That was the closest one to my hostel. I was going to Pueblo basically every day, whether I needed to stock up on water. It was very warm and hot in Puerto Rico. I was going through at least a gallon of water daily, and they had it on sale there too. At Pueblo, they also have very cheap food options. I was able to get their breakfast. I talked about getting the verbena there before I went out to El Yunque. They have good lunch and dinner options too, and you can just tell them, you know, if you wanted a baked potato, it's like $3, $4. You can get their rice and carne, just like Miami. Always go to the local, whether it's gas station, grocery store, and you can just get some quick food, a quick bite, and it's gonna be tasty Puerto Rican food. Puerto Rico is the gateway to the Caribbean. I hope that this travel guide inspired you to take your first solo journey. Remember, the world is meant to be explored. Until next time, hasta luego, adios amigos. We out of this one.